Okay, today we are going to discuss about a rule called data transform guys. So let me give some introduction. So it's a data model rule. See, like in activity, we are able to reuse the business logic, right, in the form of methods and APIs. Similarly, using data transform also, we can reuse the business logic. That is, we can define business logic using data transform also. But in this, you'll be having some functions in the form of basic and advanced functions we'll be having. So, some actions, like some business logic and all, if want to define in application, in this data transform also we are going to define. Okay, but most of the part will be using activity, but some 20 to 30% we can also define using data transform rule. Okay, and in older versions, that is before 6.2 version, so this is called as model rule. Okay, so actually after 6 or from 6.2 version, this data transform rule is introduced, but before that version it is called as a model rule. Okay, even I didn't use this model. Okay, so this is called as a model rule. And in our application, so whenever we are going to work on the data transform rule, so the main thing is here some set is the main function. So many functions will be there, but the main, see, generally in activity we are having property set. Okay, so similar to property set, we have a function called set function in data transform rule. Okay, so in property set, what is the purpose of property set? We can set or assign values to property. Similarly, in data transform also we'll have a main function called set function. So there are some other things also we can do. I'll discuss later. So, and other thing is, in older versions the rule name is model. So even though the rule name is updated, the instance name they will not update. Example, I told you earlier, data page rule, when I discussed, I said that the declare page is the old name for the data page. So for the instance name for data page is rule declare pages. Same way, even for the data transform also, the old name is model rule. So the instance name also will be with the same name, rule obj model. Okay, generally if the name of rule is updated, instance name will not be changed, so it will be same old name only will continue as a instance name. So for the data transform, the instance name will be rule obj model. Okay, and in this the main functionalities we can define by using some basic and advanced functions we can define. And what is the main functionality using data transform? Is set is the main function. Okay, so where we can assign values from one type of property to other type. We can say like a single value to single value, page to page property, or page list to page list property. Any values if want to assign from one property to other property, so we can go for this data transform. We'll understand better, we'll do an example, so better you will understand in today's session. Another thing is, in data transform we can call it in other data transforms we can call, or we can call data transform in activities also we can call. So in other data transforms if want to call, function name or method name both are same. Okay, so in activity there is a method called apply data transform. So any data transform if want to use an activity, using this method we can call, or one data transform if want to call it in other, the function name is apply data transform is the function name. Okay, okay, and practically more you'll understand when I open the rule, and when we work on that you'll understand more about this data transform. Okay, here we are going to do one requirement here. See, generally in many web applications we see billing address form and shipping address form. Okay, so which contain some common fields. See, first of all, if I, okay, I'll be creating some new UI designs today. See, billing section and shipping section, two designs I'll be creating with some fields. See, when if I give any information first in the billing section, I'll also use a checkbox option between these two sections. So if I select the checkbox, means what are the information given in the billing form, it should copy to shipping form. If checkbox is not selected, means user can enter new data in the shipping address form. Suppose Amazon is there, so you'll have something called billing address and shipping address details. Suppose initially it will take same. Suppose if they want to give a different billing address, means they need to either uncheck or select. Maybe sometimes, maybe in some application they'll give, if you select means you have to give a new information. In some application they'll give, if you unselect means they can give the new information. Okay, but in this requirement I'm taking, if checkbox not selected means, So user can give the new. So if checkbox selected means user, it will copy the data from the above page. If checkbox not selected means user can give new information in the shipping page. So two requirements I'm taking here. If checkbox is selected means the previous information will copy to shipping form. If checkbox not selected means user can enter new information in the shipping form. So that is the requirement. See, first of all, we'll work on the UI designs. So two UI designs we are going to create. And for this, first of all, I'm going to start with the data class. Okay, I'll be using same properties in both the designs, right? In billing section and shipping section, I'll be using the same properties. So what I'm going to do is I'll be creating a address data class, some name I'll be giving, and under that I'll be defining the common properties. And so that I can reuse the properties, we can create a two-page properties and we can reuse the properties, right? So I think we know the page properties creation, but anyway you'll clearly understand once again. Okay, so requirement is I'll be having two designs, billing and shipping section. If checkbox is selected means the billing information will copy to shipping. If checkbox not selected means they can enter new information in the shipping address form. That is the requirement, guys. Okay, so that we are going to implement using data transform, but before that we are going to complete the UI designs we are going to complete. Say first of all go to data types and add a new data class. Okay, only data class I'm creating, I'm not setting any source here. Add one new data class with reusable properties. So I'm going to define this at division level. Only I'm reusing properties. So I'm just creating a division level. Just give the name and submit. Give name and submit. Okay, so I'm going to define some fields in this. Okay, I'm giving some fields like address line 1, and all the fields I'm taking as a text only. Address line 2, and other fields I'm taking like estates. So though even though we have state in the work layer, those are single value fields directly used in the work, but I'm creating from the data class I'm going to reuse this time. And one more field, so pin code. Okay, so add these fields. Now go back to work layer and define two page properties referring to address class. Okay, because two designs we are going to define, right? So we need two page properties here. So we know how to define single page properties. Data model property, you can give a name. Page property name I'm giving here is billing page I'm giving. So type is single page and mention this address data class. Save it. Similarly, another page property, add another page property referring to same address data class. So change type to single page. So here we are going to add two subsections, one for the billing section I'll be creating, and second one will be shipping section. So two subsections I'm going to add first. So go to user interface. So I'm giving a name as billing section. So page properties, so we need to add controls first and then map property names. First add control names. So before that, set the title for the page. Format and title we need to set. So because to differentiate both the pages, give a title. And all controls are text input only. So add 5 controls. So after adding one, you can use copy paste. But before mapping properties, I want to use save as option, guys, because see, template is same for shipping form also. Use save as option and update the page title. Okay, before mapping column names, so open save as option, update the design, section name you can update and open the template. And meanwhile, first to complete the, again go back to billing section and update the properties. So here open, see here billing page properties we are mapping. So billing page dot address one, like that map the remaining fields. Billing page dot address two, then billing page dot the last one's pin code. So submit this, save this design. Now in the shipping form template is ready. Just we need to update the title and map these column names. So in the shipping section now, so one thing is update the page title to shipping info, and in this now already controls are there, right? So shipping page dot address one. So like that map the properties from the shipping page property. So click on submit. So you can save the design. So like that we can create two subsections we can define. Now the next step is create a checkbox property. So we need one checkbox property and define that through widget option. Go to work layer and go to this widget option. Open widget option. So I'm going to add a field here. So here I'm giving some name, bill ship address same. See, checkbox means here choose the type as boolean. So boolean values are nothing but true false. Automatically internally it will take as true or false. Those are the default values for boolean. Okay, which is nothing but a checkbox field. So the next step is now these two sections and this checkbox we are going to drop in a new section. So okay, in a new section we are going to drop these three. So add a new section. Just go to convert to section editor and no need to change or no need to assign any template for this layout. So when you're adding a main section, just drag and drop the other sections. No need to give any title also. So expand this user interface so you can just see the names here, right? After saving. So you're going to drop these details, billing section, then shipping section, and checkbox means you have to drop the control. So if you go to pickers, you'll have this checkbox control. So after the billing you can add and open this control settings. See here we need to provide a caption for checkbox. Okay, if shipping info same as billing info. So give some caption. Okay, so click on submit and save the design. Again some changes we have to do in this. So meanwhile add a flaction to this. See now flaction will define only for the address section. Add a flaction. Now the next step is actually this design I'm going to map it in our insurance flow. Open insurance flow. Okay, earlier you can see these two designs are there, customer and vehicle design. Now I'm going to add the new assignment. So connect these shapes. So give a label for assignment. Now under connector settings, you can give this flaction name, address flaction. Okay, save your flow design. Okay, now we'll work on this data transform. Actually, before adding this data transform, we need one when condition because according to the design here, So if checkbox is selected, boolean property is there, right? Actually we need a when condition for the checkbox property. So add a when condition, because this when condition we need to use in data transform rule, we need to call. Okay, here if checkbox is selected means it should copy the data. If checkbox not selected means false, so they should enter new information in the shipping form. Okay, so actually this when come under decision category. If you right click on class, go to decision. Actually if you're unable to see the name here, if the browser side is 100%, sometimes we cannot see the name, use control minus. You can see the when option under the decision category. Open that. So you can give a name. See, when is nothing but one if condition or if statement will be calling. So earlier we defined condition expression. When visibility conditions are defined, we use condition expression, right? Same thing here in the form of template we are going to choose. Okay, there means condition expression means manually we are giving in the property or layout settings, but when means separately we'll define the condition and we can call it in other rules also we can call. So here you can choose the property and condition will automatically populate. Only thing is we have to choose boolean property, condition will automatically populate. Okay, so only thing is select the property name, your condition will be taking as true by default, because when boolean conditions are given, always will give the true value only. Just save this when condition, save the when condition. Now we'll see what is data transform and how to use the data transform. See, basically data transform is a data model rule. So you can go to data model and open from here. Open data transform from data model category. Give a name. See, data transform contains steps. Here also, like in activity, we have some step 1, step 2, step 3, right? So in data transform also we can add steps. How many functions are required in your scenario? So like that number of main steps and child steps also we can add. In activity also, yesterday I have shown you how to define the child steps, right? When you define any loop conditions only, will define child steps in activity. But here based on the type of function, automatically sub steps also will be created. Okay, based on the usage of function or based on the function we are using, here automatically child steps will be created. Okay, you will not manually do that. So what is the function type we need and what is the requirement, accordingly child steps will be created in the runtime. Okay, but when you open this, you can see a default function will be set. Okay, but if you see in the down arrow, some other basic functions will be having. Remove means remove the page, update means update the pages, apply data transform means calling other data transforms, sort means ascending or descending, comment means some message, when means calling if condition, otherwise when means another if condition, otherwise means else condition. Okay, append to is for list properties, and these are some loop conditions. So like that, these are some basic functions. And what are advanced functions, in the next example you'll understand. Say advanced functions not only in data transform, in some methods in activity we can use those. There will be something called expression builder. That particular thing you'll understand in the second example I'll be doing today. At that time I'll show you how to use that expression builder. Okay, expression builder in many rules we can access, not only in data transform, in activity, under property set method, under obj browse method, like in many other methods also we can access the expression builder. Okay, that I'll discuss in the next classes. So here right now, according to this requirement, what is the requirement is if checkbox is selected. So in the first step itself, you need to choose the when option. So in this, already condition is created, right? So we have to choose the condition name. So the thing is here, what is the condition given is if checkbox is selected, what action it should perform. So what action should perform? It should copy the values from billing page to shipping page. That is the requirement. So in the function 2, you need to choose update page. And what is the target and source page we have to define? See, always here, see, target page is nothing but we are copying to the shipping page. That is the target page. And source page is billing page. So in the down arrow, we need to define the page name. Shipping page is the target page, and here relation will be there with values from. Select that and give the source page name. Is source page is nothing but billing page. So then for which properties you are going to copy, using the set option, we are going to copy values from one property to other property. That is billing page property to shipping page property, we are going to copy the values. So like that, add the rows and copy the, that is add the remaining fields which are there in the both pages. So like that we have different fields, right? State, city, pin code. So add the remaining fields. So for all these fields, the values it is going to copy from billing page to shipping page. See, like what is our requirement, accordingly we need to use the functions and fill the parameters. Okay, so these all come under one condition now. These all come under one step. Okay, step one, sub steps and all we will define, but this complete step come under one step. So if checkbox is selected means, then it will copy the values from billing page to shipping page to all these fields. Okay, now this is one condition. What is the other condition means, we need to, if checkbox is not selected, what action it should perform, we have to define. So collapse all the steps once. Now add step number 2. So here we need to define else condition. So if condition true we have taken in the first step, right? Now we have to see for else condition there is no separate value we didn't define. Automatically if true condition means we have to choose, otherwise we have to choose as the else condition. Again select update page as the function, but this time, okay, in the target we'll choose the shipping page, but we don't give the relation. This time we are not going to copy any values from the billing page. If true means, if checkbox is selected means, we'll copy values from billing page to the shipping page. But this time if checkbox not selected means, no need to copy, because user must enter values directly in the shipping page properties. So here what we need to do means, no need to choose the relation and no need to choose the source, but give the column names. But in the source option, if user want to give a value, so it should be null. So null means here open quotes and close the quotes. Like this we have to assign in the source value, and like that do the same for the remaining fields. So if else condition means, they need to enter new values in the shipping form. So that, so select the fields and set the source as null, so that they can enter new values in the shipping page form. So like that we can define these functions, and now we need to call these after completing this condition, save it. Okay, so that's it, very simple. Even though the steps looks more, it's very simple to define these conditions. Okay, so only thing is, if and else condition we define. If condition is true means, it should copy the values from billing page to the shipping page. So in the step number 1 what we did, once again I'll expand this. So if condition is true means, copy the values from billing page to shipping page, and we'll update all the property values from billing page to the shipping page. That is, it will copy all the values from billing to shipping page. And what is the other condition is else condition. Else means otherwise. So then if else condition means, if false means, then no need to copy any values. Directly user can enter new input in the shipping page form. So that set it as null, set the set the source value as null here. Okay, now we need to call these data transform in the checkbox settings. We have to call under the section rule. So the data transform condition I need to set for the, that is I need to call it in this checkbox. So we need to set event and action, and under the action we need to provide this data transform name. So double click on this checkbox, go to actions and click on this button, create an action set. Generally we'll click on the checkbox, so event type will be click only. And coming to the name of action, display refresh is the name of action. And under the parameters you'll have this option data transform, and here we need to give the name. So when you give this data transform condition here, so whenever this checkbox is selected means it will perform the true condition. If not selected means it will perform the false condition it is going to perform. Okay. So submit this. Then one more thing is here, when checkbox is selected, it should copy and display the values in read-only format in this page. If not selected means they should give the input in the shipping page. So we need to give some read-only condition here. Open these settings, open the shipping form settings. See here we have to give a read-only condition like read-only when. So there is a option called read only when rule. That is because if checkbox is selected, then only display as a read only field. Okay. Here condition you have to choose it in the drop down. So here read only when rule we have to use, because when checkbox is selected, then only display in read only format. If not selected means it will be like an input format it will be taking. Okay. So only display in read only format if checkbox is selected. Okay. And we have to provide the condition here. So submit. Now save the design and now verify the condition. Already this UI design is included in the insurance flow, right? Now run the transaction and verify whether your business logic is working or not. So go to actions and run. So submit the first two designs. So we have this customer and vehicle design is there, right? So submit the first two designs. So also submit the second one. So now we are verifying this one. See here, if I'm going to give any input here, okay, I'm giving some values, right? If I select the checkbox, so what it will happen? So what are the values given in the billing form? It should copy to the shipping page, okay, and display in read-only format. And if checkbox not selected, else condition means user can enter any new data in the shipping address form. Okay, if checkbox selected means according to the requirement, the above information should only copy to the shipping information and display in read-only format. Okay, like otherwise if they need a separate shipping details or separate means, then see, because you want to send to some friend or someone, just not this one but some other example I'm taking. Amazon, if you book some order, so your billing address will be in your name, but shipping details you want to send to some other person, you want to give to some other person, so then you can give a different shipping address information you can provide. Okay, so like that, if your address only shipping information means select that. If a different person if want to transfer the or send that one means we have to enable the if you don't enable means they can give new information. If you enable means your information only will be copied to the shipping details also. Okay, so like that, this is how we can use data transform in any requirement. Okay, like that, any conditions if want to apply or if want to assign values from one page to other page, so like that we can use this data transform easily than activity rules. Okay, so like that, just to try this, it will work in your application. Then I'll show one other example using data transform, how to use the advanced functions. Okay, so there are some advanced functions in data transform. Let's see how to use. See, before that in the previous classes, whenever we execute any transaction, what is the case ID we are getting now? See, in my application, I have set as AIFN something, so that I'm getting as a prefix. But earlier in the initially when we are started, so CIFN is a default prefix. But after updating the prefix in application cases and data, so we are getting this new prefix we are getting. Okay, the thing is I want to show you how to customize the built-in values. Actually, again in Pega there are some built-in data transform rules are there, where all the default values are set under the built-in data transform. There is a rule called py default, and under that all the default values are set in application under the py default data transform rule. See, my requirement is now I want to change the predefined prefix, I want to change to some different format. Like predefined prefix is what, c-, that c- I want to change to some different format, I want to change. So how to change that, and how to customize the built-in rules, and how to use expression builder. Now I want to show you how to use advanced functions. So how to use advanced functions in data transform, that I want to show you. See, first thing is, in your application, what you are going to do means, see what are the prefix set earlier. So we know default prefix is c-, but in the previous classes under the application definition cases and data, see we set the prefix as either alpha or a-. Okay, whatever you said. So change that prefix to, okay, remove that prefix, work id prefix, what is set under application definition cases and data, because if you don't remove, what happen means, even if you do these changes, it will not reflect, right? So remove the prefix which is set in the application definition cases and data. See where you will open from application menu. So click on definition. So you'll get this option cases and data. So remove the prefix here. Okay, and save this form. So after we remove the prefix, see Pega contains one, okay, see here alpha hyphen or alpha a hyphen something, whatever you have given, or in my application I have given as a hyphen, whatever you have to remove that prefix. Okay. So after that, save that rule form. Okay. After removing that, save the rule form. The next step is, see this py default data transform rule I said, right, where all the default values are set. Open any flow or open insurance flow in your application. Open your insurance flow. And go to process tab. See py default data transform you can access from this, any flow you can access. So you can see here in the process tab of flow, you can see a rule called py default. Okay, so this is the default data transform rule. This is the default data transform rule. So what we need to do means, so just open this one. Okay, so from here you can open the default data transform. See in this default data transform, so many default values are set, and under this you can also see one property called py work id prefix. Your work id prefix value also set under this rule. Okay, don't worry about the other rules, we are not updating. All the values we are not updating. Only thing we are updating is only the prefix value we are going to customize. That is here in the step number 4, what are the prefix value we are having. So this we are going to customize. Okay, so but if you want to customize any built-in rules, you need to use save as option, you have to use. So click on save as, because directly in the same rule I cannot customize, because if you are using save as option, it will move to your rule set version. What is rule set versioning and all, in next classes you'll understand. So you need to use save as option, because the built-in rules will be in lock mode. In the lock mode we cannot customize the rules directly, you need to use save as option. So use save as option. So only thing is, no need to update anything, just click on open. Now we can customize this. So open the built-in data transform which is in the process tab of flow, and after that use save as option. So here the column which we are going to update, for which column we are going to update means py work id prefix is the column. For that we are going to update the default value which is c hyphen. See here I want to customize this value to date format. I want to today's date I want to display as a prefix. Okay, instead of c hyphen, today's date I want to display as a prefix value. So that I am going to change. So I told that apart from the basic functions in data transform, we can use some advanced functions we can use. Okay, so where to use that advanced functions means, so there is some wizard called expression builder wizard will be there. Okay, give me a second. Okay, see here. So you'll be having this step number 4, and in order to open that expression, see date function, see basic functions and all we have seen. But if you want to use any advanced functions like date or time functions will be there, and some other additional functions will be there. If you want to use them, compulsory we need to access from expression builder. Okay, expression builder not only in data transform, going forward in many other rules also we are going to use from now. So in order to open that expression builder, click on these settings, because in step number 4 we are going to customize this. Open settings from here, click on the settings, and see this page will open, some dialog box will open. This is a dialog box actually, and in this click on this browse tab. Okay, and here you can see there are functions list you can see here, but try to use search option. Maybe if you don't know, I'm going to give that function name. See, today's date, if I want to display, get current date stamp is the function name. So the function name is get current. Okay, type the first part of the function get current. Related to that, many functions will be getting. So today's date I want to display, right? The function name is get current date stamp is the function name. Just click on add. But see, already the default value whatever is there, it is going to display here. Okay, before adding your function, already in the property, what is the default value set, it will also display the default value also. See, if you don't want any value before date, means you can completely remove this. Suppose if you need any character before that, like if I want to give something like a character or something, because our organization name is starting with a, right? So give a in double quotes and give plus, divide that with plus. So you can give a and give plus to divide the character and date value, and close the bracket. And in every prefix, hyphen also will be there, right? And manually we need to insert hyphen also. Again give plus, and in double quotes give hyphen. So now when you generally in the next time if you run any transaction, so you'll get the prefix with a, then today's date, and then hyphen you will be getting as the prefix value. Okay, tomorrow if you execute, tomorrow's date hyphen number you will be getting. Okay, so like that, if you want to customize any default values you can customize. But here the thing is we are using some functions here, some date format. I need a today's date format I want currently for this prefix. So that's why I'm going to open this expression builder, and I just customized the function with this function called get current date stamp. Okay, and this will automatically give the today's date it is going to give. And for viewing the result, if you want to see, click on the test button, it will load the result. So a, but format we cannot change. See here, year, date and month we are getting. Okay, sorry, year, month and date we are getting, and that we cannot change. That is the built-in format. Okay, that format I cannot change for the function currently. We cannot change it manually. That is a built-in format you'll be getting. Okay, so then hyphen also we have given, right, in the function characters. So hyphen also will display, and number will be starting with 1 2 so on, like that it will be started. Okay, and tomorrow if you run the transaction, tomorrow's date hyphen 1, like that it will be incremented. Okay, so if it is showing the result here, then it is going to work. Okay, use control minus, because sometimes you may not able to see the submit button. Suppose if you are unable to see the submit button, use control minus, so the browser will shrink and you can view this button. Click on submit, so that function will be updated in this source option. Okay, so from next time if you execute any transaction, what happens means we updated this value under the built-in rule we updated. So from next time any flow if you execute, so you'll be getting this format of prefix you'll be getting. Okay, not c hyphen, we customized that c hyphen value to different format. Now verify, run any transaction and verify. So I'm going to go to this create menu. Any flow, not only in the only in insurance flow, if you run any flow, the prefix will be updated, because we didn't only do for only particular flow. So py default rule will be there in every flow in application. So if you execute any flow in application, you will be getting that prefix, updated prefix you can see. So like that, I want to just show this. We can also use data transform in order to use some advanced functions. There is something called expression builder, and not only that, in Pega some built-in rules will be there and some default values will be there, and those also we can customize according to our requirement. Okay, so that I want to just tell you in this scenario. So that is about this data transform rule. So in the okay, so practice this. So in the next topic, I'm going to discuss about a rule called declarative rules. Okay, again data transform in going forward, some other scenarios also will be using. Okay, but this is how we'll be using data transform in order to define business logic. In this scenario means we called in the checkbox settings, but there are some scenarios where in most of the cases apart from the control settings, there are some scenarios where we'll be calling in the flagships also will be calling data transform mostly. Suppose if you open any flagshin, under action tab, we'll be calling data transforms apart from the control settings. Other cases where regularly we'll be calling these data transforms under the flagshin tab in the pre or post processing will be there. So wherever requirement is there in the pre and post processing, again you'll be getting these option data transform. In the down arrow also we can access these data transform rules. Okay, so that is about this data transform. And coming to the next topic, so just to go through all these things once again, I'll quickly review from starting. So what we did is, so first of all, we added some data class here. So data transform purpose is to, so any function, some basic to advanced functions if want to use, we can use the data transform in order to reuse the business logic. And main thing is assign value. See, using data transform, one major thing you if you observe here, we are able to set some values to the property. So mostly set is the main function, and along with that we are using some additional functions. But in data transform, set is the main function. The main functionality in data transform is it will perform set operation, or in activity what is the property set will do. Same thing in data transform we are going to do using this set function. Okay, where we can assign values from one property to other property, and it can be any type, single value to single value, page to page, or page list to page list. And in this scenario what we did is, so we created one data class and created two page properties. Here why I created separate sections means because these sections we are going to reuse in other scenarios also. That's why we created two subsections in this scenario. One is billing section, shipping section separately we created, and we both used in the one main section called address section. Okay, and along with that we included this checkbox also. But before creating the data transform, we created a when condition. The reason for adding when condition is here because we're applying a checkbox whenever we're using, so it will be nothing but a boolean property. So the boolean property will have two values, true and false. So in the data transform we need to use that, we need to call that when condition compulsory, we have to call. So compulsory, through when only we can define that condition. That's why when is required. So after defining the when condition, in the first step itself, we need to call the when, and accordingly, what is your requirement? We can update the values from billing page to shipping page. For that, fill the parameters and set all the column names, and apply the else condition and update the page with new values in the shipping page. So after defining the data transform, call it in the checkbox settings and just fill the event and action and call the data transform. Okay. Then next thing we did is, so Pega contains a default value called prefix. CFN is the default work ID prefix. So that if want to customize means, so just in the previous classes, any prefix you have given in the application definition case and data, remove that one. Here I want to show you how to use advanced functions in data transform. So in this example I have taken, open the py default rule which contains all the default values, but we are only going to customize the built-in prefix value CFN is there, right? So that we are going to customize. See, like this in many rules we will be having this expression builder. So using expression builder we are able to use the advanced functions, mostly date and time calculations if want to perform. Any date properties or time properties are there. So using expression builder only we are going to use them. Okay. So after that, open, there is a function called get current date stamp. Suppose time if want to display means get current timestamp is the function. So date stamp means get current date stamp is the name of function. On practice you can remember these functions, no need to worry. So and fill the parameters in the function, and before the function if you need any character you can add. Otherwise only use the date function and then hyphen you have to add. Compulsory hyphen is required in prefix, okay, because it will not generate by default. In the function we have to specify the hyphen 2. then submit and save the data transform. Automatically wherever this py default is there in application, everywhere it is going to display the this parameter, this prefix value will be updated with a date value. Okay. Okay, tomorrow I'll continue with declarative rules. What are declarative rules? And so tomorrow we'll be working on one or two declarative rules like expressions and constraints that I'll discuss, continue in the next session. Okay. So any questions?